Avoir.
Why is this
Right here.
so large?
All right, we are rolling. Welcome to another episode of FitPet Boston Talks, where we get together and talk about our lives, our dogs, and careers, depending on who I have. My name is Leah Lodato. I'm the host of the show. Today we are with Melissa Molander and Laurie Lodato. And Ruben, who's happily chewing a bone.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get started, I wanted to mention BetterVet.com. BetterVet.com is a mobile veterinary service that comes to your house. Pick up your dog, take care of whatever veterinary needs you have, and you can save $75 on your first visit if you use the code FPB75 when you book your appointment. So check it out, and if you do use BetterVet.com, hit me up and let me know what your experience was like, because I'm always interested in hearing about whether or not people are happy with that.
If it works.
If it works. Exactly. Exactamundo. What's going on, Laurie?
Nothing too much.
Nothing too much.
I had classes today.
You
had
had a lot of classes
had
today.
dogs. I had Giuseppe the bulldog. He's doing really well.
Oh, he's so cute.
Good job,
He's
Giuseppe.
Yeah, he's very cute.
If you're looking to see what Giuseppe looks like, I don't even know my Instagram handle.
At ABC Dog Training
Thanks,
on
honey.
Instagram.
You can see all our dogs there if I ever have time to take a picture.
Yeah, we have to be better about taking pictures in our private classes, because for me, I just get super into the training session, and I feel like it's weird to be like, hey, can I take your picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it really works. You can kind of tell whether or not somebody's into that. But
We have to ask now
Oh, yeah.
on an evaluation form. And
Yeah.
if you, the customer, didn't get that question on an evaluation form and you do not want your dog posted, you should make that very clear in this world of social media.
which people have
Yeah.
said no, they don't want their dog posted
Yeah.
on social media.
So that goes
Which is
for
cool.
dog trainers too. Just make sure that before you post the dog, you get permission.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Not everybody wants to be famous.
That is the truth.
Buddha has therapy. He has another Instagram, so you should follow Therapy Dog Buddha at Therapy Dog Buddha, and you can see his adventures. Melissa, what's your Instagram?
This dog lady?
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
What do you mean?
I don't know. You got any other Instagrams? I'm a bougie pet owner now. I have one for Buddha.
I know. I used to have one for Colton.
Yeah, but it's
well,
better that you have it
No,
on.
and then I got Margarita, and I was like, oh, let me try and incorporate her into it, and then I forgot it existed.
Yeah.
So
It's hard enough to post.
Now it just
Hashtag.
lingers. I don't even know what's on it.
Yeah. Hashtag this. Hashtag that.
I don't think I've
Hashtag does
touched
anyone
it
care?
since.
I don't know.
I don't
Like-
think I've touched it since 2019.
Heart. I taught Mama Rose how to heart things on Instagram.
Oh yeah, she's aggressive.
Aggressively tapping. Tap, tap. I was like, you don't have to do it so hard, Mom.
She's giving it extra love.
It's going to recognize it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Leah, Instagram. What is it?
FitPet Boston at FitPet Boston, FITPET Boston.
And
the the handle for this podcast is FPB Talks. So go follow it if you don't already. And I am happy to announce that I did figure out how to get a player into my website. So if you're listening and you know somebody that might be interested, but they're a computer person, maybe an older person, or somebody like my mom who doesn't know how to listen to podcasts.
oh, okay, a player.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
can
know what
listen
you meant
to.
even when you said that.
Yeah,
I still don't know.
so you can go to the website fitpetboston.com/podcast, and you can listen to the podcast right in the website.
Oh,
So you
that's
don't
so
have to go
nifty.
to Spotify or
Okay,
Apple
and it's just like a little.
or iHeartRadio. You can listen to it right through the website. And because it is a media player, you can have that playing and do other things on your phone, like check your text messages or browse Facebook, or which you shouldn't do. You should just listen to us talk, but just kidding. But I know that, like YouTube, for example, you can only have YouTube awake if you're using that on your phone.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can't like close out of it.
Exactly. So if you know of someone that might enjoy the podcast, but they don't use apps on their phone, or they're a computer person, or they're trying to
Or
create
they're me.
distance between themselves and their phones, which I think is a good idea to do every once in a while, you can listen to it through the website, which I think is pretty cool. And yeah, I have every episode on there. And this is episode numero 50. I can't believe
Really?
it. Yeah, this is
Wow.
50th
I feel like we
episode
should
of the podcast.
celebrate.
Finally, something's older than me. Leah,
Oh my God.
Melissa, Leah said, Laurie, we should put the evaluation forms online. Guys, this is how old school I am. I know other dog trainers are like, why don't you have this already? And you know me would change.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Everything's working just fine the way it is right now. Rah, rah, rah. Like the old man on the porch.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So easy.
Yeah, so I was able
Technology.
to
Who knew?
create a form, a hidden form through my website to basically get all the information. It was
just show me how to do that.
Yeah, it was really tough before because we were using a PDF file.
Yeah, and then they have to figure out how to send it
Yeah,
back.
they
and
have
then
to
they're
figure
like,
out-
well, I don't have a printer. I
Yeah.
can't scan it.
Yep.
And they don't know how to fill it out just on the computer. Oh, wow.
So I figured that out. It didn't take very long, but I attribute a big part of that to and shout out to Andrew Huberman, who I've been listening to his podcast, and he suggested moving your computer screen up to slightly above eye level when you work, and that tends to keep you more focused. So if you can see here, Melissa, I have a dog.
I noticed that. I was like,
underneath
why?
my
Some
computer.
classy business right there. Leah,
You know that they make things. That
Yeah,
like, have
I
a
don't
dr-
need
a
it. What do I
drawer, you
need
can-
that for? I got the dog bowl. It was the only
well.
flat one on the bottom. that
Yeah,
I could
well,
find.
I was going to say it's a little divot.
So anyway, a couple weeks ago, I went heavy on the computer work on my website and got everything moving and shaking. So I was able to make a bunch of forms that I, for dog walking, had previously done on paper. We got all that online. We got Laurie's enrollment form online. We even hooked it up to our PayPal.
and you
So-
can upload vet records.
Yep, you
It's
can
really
upload vet-
just so much easier.
I know. And it really took a lot of convincing. Laurie was not happy. You were really unhappy that I was even...
You know, honey,
going
since
after
we've
it.
been married, I've really adjusted to just taking on new things. Just
yeah.
just trying to
Well-
be open-minded. I said, I think I do better if it just gets done and it works.
Yeah. As opposed to like talking it up and then thinking about it and then
Right. Just,
Yep.
and if it works, awesome.
great.
I think that's how.
Yeah,
This is
because
fine.
that enrollment form information is really important. So,
You should always tell us if your dog bites or
that's
has a
good one.
bite history. The question
Be
is
honest.
on there,
Be honest.
but you don't have to shy away from it. We just need to know.
Oh yeah, we just got to know because if we're taking your dog out somewhere in public and you're like, oh no, he's never bit anybody, never
Yeah.
even tried.
I
well,
went to a class and I was quite surprised because there's a question about bite history and they said nothing.
it's like they get scared to tell us their dogs bite people, even though we're dog
You
trainers.
just have to tell us.
well,
and that's
I also think that people have a general phobia of writing anything down or texting anything that can be screenshot or somehow like documented.
Yeah.
You know, so like if they put it on our enrollment form, their dog has bit somebody, and then they go to rent an apartment somewhere, like is it going to be nagging in the back of their mind like, oh,
Of course, I mean,
you
we keep it to us. We
no,
don't-
I know,
I
but
can't
what I'm
even-
saying is people are
Right.
generally
See,
very
I don't even think that far ahead.
yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Melissa's like, my dogs bite everybody. It's perfect.
My dogs
your
don't
dogs
bite
don't
anyone.
bite
I
anybody.
know. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
Margarita, I don't know if I'd put it past her.
It's always good to
my
know.
little
though.
saucy, my little spicy margarita.
Oh man. But yes, we got all of our stuff online. Podcast is on the website, which I'm psyched about. And I think everything looks pretty pro, which is nice. And most importantly, it's easier for our customers because ultimately being able to communicate well with the people that are, coming to us for training is the most important thing. And it does separate your business from other businesses when it's easy to access the information and easy to get in touch with the people that are trying to help you out. But on the other hand, which will segue into our topic of today, it helps us out a lot as trainers and handlers and dog walkers and daycare providers if you don't cancel at the last minute. And that's something that we want to talk
Melissa can go first.
a little bit about today specifically. And I know that this is a podcast that specifically talks about dogs and dog training and such, but there are so many professions that struggle with this problem. I can think of a bunch. I mean, massage therapy, hairdressers,
Nail salons.
I mean, it
Doctors.
just, yeah, I mean,
dentists,
and I think
The
if
vet.
you,
the
yeah,
vet.
I think if you don't own your own business, you don't understand the cost of doing business for a small business owner. We all, like Laurie and I own micro businesses, right? We don't have, or like lifestyle businesses, we don't have employees. So we have a little bit less, I don't want to say headache, but it's
a huge headache.
it's still a huge headache because we carry the world on our shoulders. But
I won't say differently. I mean, I can always fill the time with that work that I have throughout the day that never disappears, but I'll manage my whole day around these classes. So if I think that you're coming at a specific time,
you're going to be ready and waiting.
I'm going to run my whole day based on your appointments because there's 5 other appointments besides you. Or I was speaking to somebody who runs a kennel, and if they expect you to come at a certain time, they will run the dogs, prepare breakfast, and have everything done and all the dogs in before the new dog is introduced. So if you're even 20 minutes late to a half hour, the existing dogs in the kennel, she could have run them before you showed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so somebody was supposed to come at, especially if people request a very early drop-off time. So this kennel specifically opened up their doors for this person. They said, I have to be there at 6:45. 7:15 rolls around and the person still isn't there. And she's like, I could have slept for 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal.
Before I started the whole day.
Yeah.
So even if you're running late, give a text because it makes everyone, it makes us all feel like you cared about our time and things happen, traffic, whatever, just try to factor that in. Especially for drop off and pickup times, because like I said, if you can make somebody feel like their time is valuable, they'll just think about that all the time when they're working with you. You can't help but think about somebody who's so like kind and thinks about you.
Yeah.
It makes you want to do more for them.
Totally.
Yeah.
To back up slightly from that point, with our businesses, different than what Melissa's doing, I think the consumer, if you have never owned your own business or tried to do anything on your own, it is like ridiculously hard to make $1. I don't mean like generating that income. I mean keeping it, being able to generate and turn over a profit. You know, like we pay a lot of money in taxes. If you're, you know, an LLC, sole proprietorship, like 30% of that is just going in taxes. Not to mention all of the costs of just doing business every year, you know, paying the person to prepare the taxes, paying for your insurance, paying to fuel up your car, all this stuff. So, you know, when we set our prices, they are reflecting all of those costs. And I think that for somebody that, you know, gets a W-2 at the end of every year and that's how they pay their taxes and, you know, make a living, there's a huge difference between that type of income and hustling. So as far as we're concerned, cancellations take up a huge chunk of our income if we don't have enough notice to fill that space and fill that spot. And I see, because all 3 of us are part of quite a few trainers.
But now
groups.
all 3 of us, because of that charge up front to book a class, and now you don't get a refund.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's
the only reason we're starting to do
right.
that now is because of cancellations.
Right.
And we get the money, great, but somebody else could have had that spot.
Right, yeah. And that I kind of wanted to talk about that too, is pretty much every training business that I know at this stage in the game makes you pay for everything up front. And the only reason why that's happening is because we have no other choice as far as how to field these cancellations. Like we have no other choice because we don't have the ability to absorb that cost of that time not being filled with a dog. And then there's the whole human element of it where I'm like, okay, I had a chance here to book this time, even though I got the money from it, great, but I still didn't get to work a dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know somebody wanted the slot. Somebody who has another emergency with their dog. Because sometimes with dogs, it's always an emergency.
Yeah, or seems like an emergency.
Yeah.
I surprisingly didn't have any. I send out a lot of dates to my customers, and sometimes like I'll look on my calendar, and on Saturday I'll have 5 classes, and the next Saturday I'll have none. because of the way that we kind of schedule and I try to work with people. If I have somebody that just can't commit to a date or is having a really hard, like I literally try to work with them to a certain extent. But I will ask like what days are best for you so that I can try to figure out how to, accommodate whatever needs they have scheduling wise.
I drop them.
Yeah. And then after and then after like that happens twice, I'm like,
forget
I
it.
can't like just.
Yeah.
You couldn't make any
That's
of the
it.
6 times like this.
No, I generally ask people first. I'm like, so what does your schedule look like? Because you send them a bunch of dates and they're like, oh no.
They're like, I have lacrosse every Saturday for the rest of my life. I can't.
I'm like, really? You can't take an hour? And you don't have an hour?
How many times do you drop the client though? If like, what's your? I offered you 6 times, or do you go like for 5 times?
I don't even.
Oh my God, I give 3.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, I give 3.
No.
You give a lot more, I think.
No, you know what really gets me though? When I offer them, like, I'm like, you know what? Here's 5 different times, days, whatever. Let me know what works. They don't answer.
For
and
a
then
month?
and then I offer it to other people, and then they'll respond like a
Too
few
late.
days later, and they're like, oh, I'll take, Wednesday at 2:00. And I'm like, yeah, well, Wednesday at 2:00 got booked a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're a little late.
That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, Melissa, because I always put at the bottom of my email, I will hold these times for 24 hours.
Oh, I don't even give 24 hours. I give to the end of the day.
Yeah, so
I don't either. I do until the next day now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll say I'll hold it till like
Because then I have
11.
to wait 24 hours before I
Then I
can
can
book
book
with
another.
someone else.
Right.
So I'm like, if I don't hear from you by, 8:00 tonight, I'm going to offer this spot to someone else.
Right. Yeah, and I find that people that are desperate because their dog is biting somebody or, not good with other dogs, or they're fighting with another dog in the household, or not being good with their kids, those type of clients definitely have more of a follow through than somebody that comes for basic puppy obedience or potty training or something like that, which is normal. But I guess the bottom line is, even if you're a dog trainer listening to this podcast, just think about the trouble it is when you have to deal with all of these cancellations and don't pay that forward to other businesses. If you make appointments, stick to them, and make sure that if you do need to cancel, like give plenty of notice so that that person, whatever service they're providing, can hook up somebody else with the service, because that's how we make bread. And it's like, it's tough because when you have a 9-to-5 job, like you don't ever have to think about this type of stuff. And for us, this is type of stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with dog training, but takes up so much mental space.
A lot.
For us, because, again, it's not just about the money. Like, if I collect money for doing nothing, but I don't have somebody out there with a trained dog advocating like for their dog, and also being like, hey, I got my dog trained, like Leah and Laurie helped me train my dog and it was awesome, that isn't doing anything for me. You know what I mean? And I look at my hours as, okay, how much time can I spend with dogs, learning, teaching. And if I collect that money, like, of course that's great and that pays bills and everything like that. But at the end of the day, I want to be
a dog trainer.
Yeah, having my hands on as many dogs as I possibly can.
You want to work. You don't want
totally.
Like, keep your mind. Like, if you don't want to do the class, then don't book it.
Yeah.
If you're not committed and you don't want to, do you confirm classes with people beforehand?
No, if we book it, I don't.
Okay.
If it's a person who I think is shisty,
I started to, because there was, in the last couple months, there was 4 separate occasions, not the same person. I showed up and they weren't home because they forgot.
Oh my God, I'd freak.
And the class was booked only like a week before.
Oh no.
Some of them were booked, we booked like, all right, we're going to book 4 sessions now over the next, month and a half.
Yeah,
but
I book all 4 at once now.
Yep. But I email them. And then what I started doing was, I would email the week of, and I'm like, just a reminder, we have this.
Yeah.
And even still, I showed up and they were not there.
It's such an ovary buster.
I was so mad. So angry. Because I'm pretty sure they're neighbors. Because I got back in my car and I was like, "Is this a joke?"
Like you clean up, you go there because we're always dirty. We're dog
like a
people.
Creepy weirdo. Because the neighbor was like peering out, looking at me because I'm just like standing there waiting, nothing. I didn't hear the dog too, so I was like, "There's no way."
I I'm gonna bring up a point that
gas is real cheap now too.
Oh my God, $80 to fill my gas tank.
Yeah, we're
today.
gonna have to start. We're gonna have to start charging travel. Yeah,
I do
sure.
if it's past a certain point.
I also see, and I find that this happens to me as well, but I see females struggling with following through with collecting money for cancellation way more than men do, as far as the way that people are conversing on like social media groups and stuff, and then just knowing male dog trainers personally, they're just so much more savage with pay me. Like, no, you didn't show up, pay me.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's an empathetic element of being a female that you kind of like, oh, I just want to be understanding. I just don't, whatever, but
it's going away.
And I learned that from Laurie. I mean, she immediately, like, as soon as I started learning from Laurie, I tightened everything up. I was like, whoa, I need to be way more strict with people and following through with payment if they cancel or they no show, or I go to the house and the dog's not there because they went on vacation. And they didn't tell me.
If I pay for something, I'm going to go. So if I sign up for, remember I signed up for this gym I went to and I'm like, no, I am going to go to all these classes. I even signed up for agility class with Rippo way back in the day and I hated the class. Agility was not my thing, but I was like, no, I paid for it. I must go. I must follow through. So if I feel that way, I felt like other people would also feel that way. And who wants to blow that? Nobody wants to blow money into the wind. Like, everything's so expensive these days.
Oh, talk about blowing money into the wind. I have to tell my sauna story.
Oh Lord, I'm excited for this. Tell me all about it.
This is off topic, but
picture Leah. Picture this.
No.
Sicily.
So,
no, I'm just kidding.
So
that's a Golden Girls reference.
Laurie and I are like Planet Fitness junkies. She turned me into a Planet. You're still a Planet. Are you still Planet Fitness? Melissa?
Well, I think you go to Golden.
No, I go to Evolve. It's up the street from my house.
Yeah, that's
Evolve
close
Fitness.
to your. That's close to your where you live now.
So I can walk there.
Yeah, so we could walk to Planet. It's so close. And Laurie kind of turned. I always thought Planet Fitness was like a gym for people that like didn't care about the gym. But started going, I'm like, this place is pretty nice. It's always nice and clean.
Well, this one is great.
Yeah, the one in Burlington is great.
I've been to some that are...
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Burlington only. But they definitely have... They lack equipment that would be nice to have. So last year, around this time, I joined Gold's Gym in Arlington. It's since changed to True Fit or something like that. But it's like the upstairs where like the women's section is, it's like the graveyard of gym equipment from 1980. Like, they have like the booty machines where like you lay down and like kick your feet up. And not only that, the machine takes up like half the room.
They have the thing where you stand on it and it shakes your butt and the band
You're
goes.
lying.
No, so
you're lying.
And they have one room
I
with
think I want to go there just to try.
No, with like literally all the cardio equipment. It just goes to like, it's just packed with cardio. It's just the weirdest gym.
They're like, oh, females love cardio. Here you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Get on the treadmill, bitch. Go.
Exactly. So, but they have some equipment there that, they didn't have a Planet Fitness. So like, okay, it's more of a quote unquote real gym, yada, yada. So anyway, started going there. I put my account on hold for like 6 months because when Burlington stopped the mask mandate, Planet Fitness was like, masks are off. So nobody had a mask on at Planet Fitness where everybody else did. So I stopped going there because I was just more comfortable working out without one on. And Planet Fitness is huge and it's never super packed. So I stopped going to Gold's. But I realized in January that they had charged my card. Or first week of February,
yeah,
I think.
I just realized this week.
Yeah, so
they've been charging me for the last year, and I thought I canceled it.
Oh, no, that's horrible. That would give Laurie a heart attack.
Oh, that's all I
talk about fees. I would just
the fact
throw
that I
up.
even just said this out loud in front of Laurie, I feel shame. I feel shame.
Shame.
No, so I realized that I had been charged. So I was like, I got to go get my money's worth. So I've been going. A couple weeks ago, I went, and I finished my workout, take a shower, get into the sauna.
Okay.
So I'm in the sauna. And
Wait, you went there to cancel it or get your money back?
No, they had already charged me. So I was like, I'm going to work out because I paid for the month.
Because we're cheap.
Yeah. That's what Laurie was saying. Like, she paid for agility with Ripa, and she went.
I know.
I paid for your class,
all I was thinking when you were saying that, I was like, oh my God, I've been paying for a gym membership for a year. I'm still paying for Planet Fitness.
Oh, somebody just shoot me. Why would you do it?
I have...
I have an old Sicilian mother, so there's a reason.
Yeah, but you guys are
being
always in
way.
the back of my head. You and Rosa.
I know.
All the time.
So here's Leah trying to get her money's worth at the gym. And meanwhile, Leah's like, hey, going to the gym. It's a while. I haven't heard from Leah. Go ahead, Leah. Do tell.
Yeah, so I'm in the sauna. It's nice and hot. But, like, I'm not breaking a sweat in there. And it's hot in there. Like, my phone stopped working, like, shut off. Like, you know how it gives you the heat warning?
Yeah.
So now her phone is dead.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right. So I'm like,
dead.
I'm in there, and I'm like, I drank a lot of water today. I'm not sweating. I'm like, I was like, I don't understand what's going on. So while I'm in there, the lights in the locker room shut off. But I know that they're on a timer because it's happened to me before, like when I'm in the locker room. So I'm in there for like half an hour more.
Can we insert an Al Pacino line? I'm in the dark here.
Yeah, I'm in the dark
Leah
here.
thinks nothing of it.
Yeah.
I will continue to stay in the sauna as the lights are off.
Yeah, so basically, long story short, I get out the sauna. I'm looking around. The locker room is pitch black. And we had like a snow squall going on outside. So I'm like, oh, fuck. And I didn't have my cell phone, so I didn't have like a light. So I'm like rooting around in the dark. I find my locker. I get the clothes. I go by the window. I change.
It's like a horror movie.
I go down into the hallway. It's black. I go downstairs in the gym. This place closed while I was in the sauna.
Shut up.
Maybe all the lights are on a timer.
But it was 5 o'clock. Okay, so it's 5. So it was like 5:40.
The place to check the sauna?
I guess not. The place closed at 5 on a Saturday. This stupid gym closes at 5 o'clock on a Saturday.
Leah's walking around in her skiffs in the dark. She can't see anything.
Yeah, so I'm like,
I can't get a hold of her, but I'm like, oh, that's Leah. She says she's going to be back, but she's probably wandering.
Were you locked in? Was there someone there?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Oh, good Lord.
So, I go downstairs, you know, and they put the women's locker room like upstairs, so I got to walk down like 2 sets of stairs. I get downstairs. I go to the front door. They lock it from the inside. Like, you know those old school locks that have a key on the inside? I'm like, great. So I'm standing there, and I'm like, okay.
Was your phone working at this point?
No. Never works, even when it's on.
So I went round the back, and there was like an emergency exit. I pushed that left. There was like snowing outside. I'm like, oh,
an alarm
what a trip.
didn't sound?
No, they got no alarms in that place.
Okay. Well, maybe we shouldn't be advertising that.
Well, whatever. I don't care.
Well,
at
they
this
locked
point.
you in. I mean,
Exactly. They don't give two craps. I'm like,
screw the bitch in the sauna.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
Fine. Let her cook.
Exactly.
Let her cook.
Well, that's the other thing. The sauna was on when I left. It was the only light I had in the whole place.
Oh.
So, I mean,
if there was a light on in the sauna and the
I
sauna
left,
was on.
I actually left. I'm like walking to the car, and I was like,
working and locked you in hears this. And it's like, well, I locked someone in the sauna.
But I was just like, oh my word. I'm like, I never in a million years would think that my gym would close at 5 on a Saturday.
Well,
you know why? Because you're used to Planet Fitness.
They're
hours,
open
so
all the
everyone can
time.
Stop complaining about Planet Fitness.
And I'm never I'm never going to
hour.
complain about Planet Fitness ever again.
So, you know, Leah, she comes home. She's like, hey, honey, get a load of this. You know, she says that all the time. Yep. I'm like, what happened? I got locked in the sauna.
No, I didn't get locked in the sauna. Thank God. That'd be
locked in the gym.
Yeah, that'd be
and
dangerous.
I was like, really?
I mean, I would have just waited, worked out by myself, enjoyed the quiet.
I could have.
But you couldn't.
I could have. I mean, if I hadn't just finished my workout and sat in the sauna, I don't know. To me, I was like, whoa, this is really something.
Whoa, Nelly.
Yeah.
Thank God she wasn't in there longer. The back door open, because I would have just thought she was dead at that point.
Imagine it was like a night at the museum kind of thing. Everything started coming to life.
But Laurie, when I went into the sauna, there was an old woman in there that was leaving. And she was like, it's nice and hot in here for you.
She knew when it was going to close.
Right, but what I'm saying is, what if she didn't know when it closed, and that old lady was up there with no light, trying to get down the stairs, get herself
was like,
dressed.
Was there anyone else in there?
And
she was probably like, no, forgot you were there.
And on top of it, can't get out the front door.
Yeah.
And has to like figure out what exit to get out of. I mean,
well, imagine her making it through in the dark in the first place.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I just left and I was shaking my head. I was like, this place.
Good old Leah.
Besides the fact that there's dust bunnies blowing through the place like tumbleweed. I mean, it's horrible. Oh, man.
Duly noted.
Oh, man. Kelly goes there. I saw her that day. I saw her that same day.
Did you tell her you got locked in?
Yeah, she laughed her ass off.
I'm sure she did.
Shout out to Kelly Ago too. She's got a new podcast which I've been listening to this week.
Oh, what's it called? Bikini.
It's called Bikinis,
And
Barbells, and No BS.
Oh shit.
So if you're interested in learning more about fitness,
Kelly.
you should hook that up. Yeah, I listened to the episodes this week. They were good.
I'll
Very,
listen to
very, very, very practical advice for people who are trying to get into fitness, etc. And what have you been listening to keep yourself distracted?
I listen to garbage
Yeah,
podcasts.
yeah, I know. What garbage?
No,
I love your garbage podcast.
No, it's guilty pleasures that I will not
Come
speak
on.
of. No,
No,
Melissa,
come on,
do you
please.
have any podcasts you want to mention?
I have 45 unread text messages right now.
45?
I don't have time.
You have the number?
Yeah, I just looked a little while. Yeah, I'm a little busy right now.
Yeah, but what do you listen to? Like when you're just to
podcast.
distract yourself from the
You must listen to
realities of
something.
everything going
when
on
I
in the
have
world
a
right now.
moment to
Yeah,
be
you know, like
distracted,
World War
I'm
III and
asleep.
Oh my god.
I have been very busy.
Come on, Laurie.
Even if you're going to walk?
You have a very interesting
no,
listening
On a walk,
habit.
I feel
No?
like.
Yeah, what do you listen to when you go on a walk?
Or do you just listen to the birds and soak in the environment?
Sometimes I do just listen to nothing because it's nice to just have some quiet.
Well, frankly, we're always listening to something.
What? Oh, okay. I actually shut my hearing off.
It's philosophical.
Well,
She's
I listen to
got
the Canine Paradigm a lot.
Canine Paradigm's
Yeah.
good.
Canine Paradigm.
I know. I love the accents.
I heard you listening to an episode
I do
the
listen
other
to
day.
them.
Yeah.
Gals with Mal's podcast is good for dog
Oh.
people. If you're
There's
interested.
another one that I listened to
It's a good one.
recently. I can't remember the name of it. I think Michaela shared it. Community Canine. I think she shared it. It was a good one. I listened to it. There's a lot of good ones. I just don't remember the
Really,
actual.
Canine Paradigm is the only dog one I listen to.
No,
here and
whatever
there.
one she shared was really good, and I don't remember the name.
I think she shared a Training Without Conflict Ivan Balabanov's podcast the other day.
that's
He
the
had
one.
he
That's
had one
the
with
one.
Michael Ellis. It was really good. I'm like halfway through
That's
it.
the one.
I just get distracted, so I have to like really
Rewind
focus
it.
when I'm
I always have to rewind.
And
Oh,
some of his are a little painful, but this last one, the Michael Ellis one, was great.
Sometimes
Yeah.
if the sound is off on the podcast,
Yeah,
I can't
it's
listen
brutal.
to it.
Well, you got
also-
spoiled listening to FitPet Boston Talks.
I
Let's
struggle
face
to
it.
The clarity is
The
astounding.
clarity is unbelievable.
I know. I struggle to sit still for more than like 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
focusing on a pot.
Laurie likes comedy podcasts.
Well, yeah, it's palate
She-
cleanser.
She likes Miss Pat.
Oh, I love Miss
She
Pat.
listens to Miss
Who's
Pat
Miss Pat?
She's
all the
funny.
time.
You gotta
She's
be
this
careful.
hilarious
Yeah.
black comedian. She has a new
Ooh.
Netflix special
Miss
out,
Pat,
and
you
she
have.
is
I
so
mean,
funny.
she is. If
Who is
anything,
it?
you have to listen to her speaking on the Joe Rogan podcast, where that was kind of like her breakthrough podcast. And
But I
she's
feel like
hilarious.
she just literally did an hour
The
and
Miss
a half
Pat show.
of comedy on that Rogan episode.
Yeah.
It's so good. I think it came out in like 2018, 2019. It's seriously just belly laughing. And then she has her own podcast.
And she has a book called Rabbit,
Yeah, Laurie read the book too.
and it really gives you a view of her life. And her thing is that no matter what you came from, you can always turn it into
Laughter.
a good thing and
Yeah.
laughter. And she's tough cookie though. You don't listen to her around your kids.
Yeah, it's not
She's
G-rated
colorful
at
language.
all.
Yeah, she makes me seem like a saint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I love it.
I like some of the episodes on the podcast now, like her show. I can't listen to them if sometimes it's just too much.
Well, now they're doing them remotely, so it's that kind of garbly
No,
gook.
but it's like
I hate.
sometimes
Garbly
if
gook?
they have
Oh,
really
I just-
dirty subjects.
yeah.
I can't listen to it.
I mean, we have so much technology now that there's no reason why you can't have decent audio
So-
streaming.
I'm about to make an
brutal.
appointment at the Apple store for them to teach me how to use my computer. I got so upset the other night trying to figure out how to edit videos and upload them from my phone to the computer.
I can give you some tips. I've done it a little bit.
Do you know how
but
easy it is?
I don't do that. I ask
just
Leah.
airdrop that.
You can airdrop it to the computer.
Yeah.
Even I know that.
Oh my God. I don't know anything.
You
I am
can't use
technology
Melissa's like, I work with
inept.
dogs.
No, I really am. I am like technology inept. I have no idea what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden my laptop tried being like, oh, sorry, I'm full. I'm like, I don't use you for anything until recently.
Well, your phone probably has more memory than your laptop, probably.
My phone's memory is full, 128 gigabytes. I got to go through it and get rid of some things.
I have
apparently.
too many photos.
Yeah. Dog people have
17,000.
so many photos.
Oh.
Well, that's why I wanted to upload them from my phone to the computer. And then my computer was like, just kidding. You can't.
No.
I'm full. And I'm like, what are you full of?
I've
used you to Google things for the last 4 years and email people.
You know what's funny? So Sam O'Brien that I interviewed last time from South Shore Dog Squad, she did a little video and put it on her Instagram story the other day of like what her phone looks like, her pictures look like. They look exactly like.
Oh yeah.
Like 10 pictures of dogs posing to get the one where they're all looking and like bunches of it looks like all of our phones.
50 of one dog, and most of them look the same.
Yeah, every time you push that button,
just a little right. This has got to be just right.
Nobody notices.
Laurie perfect.
All these things.
The Laurie
go ahead
perfect
and
photos.
make fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you
don't
because
make
now I
fun
take
of you
some
at
damn
all.
fine photos.
You took such a good group photo the other day.
I like that one. It was Laurie perfect.
Everybody was looking.
It was. Everyone was looking at
and
attention.
you had a bunch of puppies in that one.
I know. I was happy.
Yeah, it's always tough when you are taking a group photo if you have puppies that aren't used to the.
They're learning how to hold.
They aren't used
or
to
if you have
Laurie's
one dog
way.
who will just have a Tourette's moment and bark at nothing.
Then there's one of the
Frankie.
And then
Coda.
the whole thing could go to shit.
Coda sits and then she'll be
Or-
like, bow.
Diesel, like the cutest dog
my
in the
God.
world, but like you go to take his picture and he
Skulks
acts
away.
like you literally just shot him.
Yeah.
Like,
It ruins the whole picture.
Geez.
So if I have a group picture and one dog looks like he's being shot at
No, but
from enemy lines,
I
I'm
can
like,
never-
come on, you're ruining the picture,
No,
kid. You
Coda,
look
though?
miserable.
Coda will just like you'll see her too.
Yes.
She'll start getting a smile. She's like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Like the
a
old ladies
little
in the Italian
uncomfortable.
church when they're like, see, like, praise God.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Coda
Hallelujah.
will be like, ah! And all the dogs are like, oh shit.
and then she runs around and gets
Yep.
really pumped about it.
Or one dog will leave the group and say you have like 22 dogs.
Yep.
One walks away.
They're all like, oh, okay.
Do you sacrifice a perfectly set up group of 21?
I would
to
get
go
that other
get
dog and
that
put it
dog?
back.
I know. And so you like stay there. So some people are like, they don't have to hold it for long. I'm like, no, they do, because
They
the
hold
older
for a
dogs are
long
holding
time.
it forever, while I realize, I get the stray. And so sometimes you'll see me put a leash on
Yep.
the one who's going to run away from me.
Yep.
And I'm smart now. I know who's going to try to pull a fast one.
Yeah, good.
I leash them up and I
Yep.
put them in the group already set up.
Yeah, I'm terrible at taking group photos. I just do them with my own dogs in the woods.
So
My criteria is very low.
I have-
I'm like, they're all sitting great. Snap. I'm getting better, but it's not. It's not Laurie perfect.
She's like, honey, do you want me to help you with the picture? And I'm like, sure. Because then she gets out the fancy camera, not
Yep.
just the phone
Yep.
camera.
And I'm sorry, I've taken some damn good pictures of that fancy.
You have?
That picture of Buddha with the therapy dogs should be
Yeah.
in a magazine.
Well, we could post that and you can find it on his Therapy Dog Buddha Instagram page.
But Anya, Liz's dog, Anya the shepherd, she is in the middle and she just looks amazing. And they all have their red bandanas on, and it was a slightly cloudy day. It's such
and
a
the
good
light was just right.
Just Rue isn't looking in that picture.
I know.
But the red bandanas, the grass was nice and green. It was, yeah, I know.
So when we took this picture, Leah goes, I'll help you. I go, okay. And I have all the dogs lined up.
Oh no.
But Leah has her spot where we have to line it up so that she's already set. And, if we crop it, it fits on Instagram, all that crap. So she's set up. But I was like, I need help. I had so many stragglers. They were hanging out on the side. I'm like,
You get one back, you look, there goes, Cooper walking away.
Leah's like, I'm over here, honey. I'm like, I need backup.
I need assistance.
Well, then it's funny because Leo, the little lab.
Oh my
Yellow lab.
God.
Oh, the chunky.
I
So
want to
loaf
just
of
in
bread.
the
squish his
in the
little
picture
face.
in the
That
picture
dog
that
is
you
so
took,
cute.
he had a slip lead on.
Yes.
This is a puppy. He's like 9 months old.
I was smart after I realized what was happening.
Do you know when I picked him up for a hike this week, or when I dropped him when I saw the dad?
Yeah.
He's like, I noticed that Leo was the only dog that had a leash on in the picture. I'm like, yeah.
Because your ass is going to stay there if you sometimes just putting a leash on,
Yeah.
it wasn't connected to anything.
He's a puppy.
But I put the leash on him. He's like, I can't move. I have the leash on me. Like some puppies, like having a leash on a dog is so useful. And I only had a slip lead on him because it was a stationary position. I wasn't letting him walk around with a slip lead on.
No,
Otherwise, it's just a regular collar with a leash.
He's such a good dog, that dog.
Love that dog.
My
He's
God,
the dog
that dog.
all families with kids want.
Yeah, and I
because
love
even if
his parents. They're just so nicest people, and they are just, the mom is super good at communicating. It's like, it's so good to work with them, but you're right. I mean, he's a yellow lab, came from a Acushnet, Mass, which there's a few lab breeders down there if you're interested in labs. Just a good dog.
Good family dog.
Just a good family. And he lives with a 9-year-old doodle that's a small doodle. Like, she's like a 30-pound spicy little dog. And they live great together. And I think he's just 9-10 months old. But, man, there's something to be said for a jolly old lab. I took him on his first hike with my other Leo this week. And he just did so well. So, if you want a dog and you just want a friendly dog, just get a lab. Don't mess around. They're great. They can be great, I should say. But,
yeah, his offenses are small.
Yeah, he's dopey.
Yeah, but he's
dopey.
It's fine because he's the type of dog that even if you mess up with handling, he'll bounce back.
Yeah,
he'll forgive
quite
it.
well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and his temperament's so nice that
dog walks really well on a leash too. Like, so I did a bunch of walking drills and stuff like that with him, getting him to walk behind me. He had he's not rude. When he sees another dog, he wants to say hi. That's for sure. Fix that right away. I mean, he's a really nice dog.
Don't want to say hi to your dog.
Yep. Melissa, you're gonna come back in a few weeks. We're gonna talk about all the new stuff that's been going on with you. Do you want to talk a little bit about anything right now? Or
yeah, we can.
All right. What's up?
Well, so I started a day school. So basically, they drop the dog off.
And you're at Create Escape in Belmont.
Yes, they drop the dog off. I train their dog all day. So there's like, it's not like a one size fits all. This is like every day, this is what we're doing. This is only what we're doing. I did a consult with all the clients first, kind of got their background on the dogs, built a relationship with them, learned about all their dogs' quirks and things that they would like to be worked on. Back to the biting topic. When I asked people this question, oh my God, the look on their faces, if their dog did bite someone, they were like, it was like a deer in headlights. They were like, oh. I was like, I'm not going to not take your dog because they bit someone. I just need to know.
Yeah.
But it's great. This was the first week. So I video a bunch. I have a tripod set up. That's where my frustrations came from this week with my technology.
Sorry, the next question people are going to want to know is, you take dogs who bite, who may have a bite history with people, but do you take a dog who has a bite history with other dogs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So
and they're not escaping the crate during this day school program.
No, they're in the crate.
Yeah.
They're in the crate. And it's funny because a lot of owners were like, "Oh, my dog's horrible in the crate." I was like, "Oh, okay." Their dog is a saint. But it's also, I'm giving them a lot of mental stimulation. They come in, they go in the crate, they come out, they have a lot of fun, they do fun things. I made it very clear to people, like, your dog is not going to be playing all day. Your dog might get out in the group maybe twice a day. I'm not like, it's not a free for all, which is why I'm able to take dogs that might have a bite history. I mean, it's a fine line though. Like, if your dog is really bad, it's, probably not a good environment for your dog.
Yeah, they're just going to be stressed out.
They're just going to be stressed out. But, there's a couple dogs.
Minor offenses.
Yes, minor offenses. Yeah, there's some that are extremely leash reactive and have put, small punctures in other dogs on leash and off. But, we do a lot. A lot of the dogs that I'm working with right now are scared of everything. Everything. And a lot of them, they're not even COVID puppies. But I think what it is that it's been 2 years. Dogs haven't really gone anywhere or done anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it is baffling to me. Like, they're scared to jump over the hurdle. Like, they're scared to go near. There was a dog, one of the dogs was scared of, like, a regular dog bed. Like a cushion dog bed.
Tentatively reach
She
out.
was trembling. I'll show you the video. Trembling. Like tail tucked. And I was just sitting there waiting her out. She touched it. Her paw touched it. Like willingly, I just should let her work it out. She levitated across the room as if someone electrocuted her with like, oh my Lanta. I was like, girlfriend. And this is a dog who is like full of beans. She's got energy for days. She loves everyone, loves everything. But when it comes to life, she's a nervous Nelly.
I think more dogs are like that. More and more rescues and bred dogs. So you have to be careful who your breeder is. And if you have a rescue, just be willing to work with that rescue on whatever issues may come about.
Also, if you have a rescue dog, get over it. That you rescued them. They've been rescued.
Yeah.
Stop using it as an excuse and train your dog and help them.
Yep.
If I hear one more well, they are a rescue. I'm like, they were a rescue 3 years ago when you got them.
Or when you got them as a rescue, they were 8 weeks old.
Yeah, Like, I don't say like, oh yeah, Colton was a rescue.
You rescued him from the bassinet.
Margarita was a rescue. I'm like, yeah, they were fresh out of the womb.
Yeah, they're 8 weeks. Sometimes they're
babies.
Lucky and you.
I had someone recently. They were
young.
like, they inquired about
genetics play a
booking
part.
Well, of course
Let's
they
just
do.
Say that.
No, of course they do. But I'm saying like, oh, well, they were a rescue, and so they were really scared of the crate. I was like, how old were they when you got them? Oh, they were 10 weeks.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The
And
crate
when people say all the time, I don't know much about their history.
It's like you are their history.
I was
you
like,
got them when they were like 10 weeks old.
They had just weaned off their mother.
Yeah.
And you got them.
I will say, like, with Ruben, for example, like, his obedience is great, and he can be anywhere. I can bring him anywhere, but he is not happy.
Well, that's how Margarita is,
yeah,
too.
and so I think when you get to that point where you can say, okay, I can bring my dog to Lowe's, I can bring my dog to an obedience competition, I can bring my dog off leash anywhere, but he's really stressed out, not happy. I can ask him to sit, I can ask him to lay down, I can ask him to hop out. I can, I have the obedience on him. Like, that's not the issue. Then I feel like you can start making concessions to like fit their personality. Like, tomorrow,
but that's just who your dog is.
Right, exactly.
I don't view it as, they were a rescue. It's just that's who your dog is.
Right.
Like, I don't like go into clubs because they stress me out.
Yeah.
I can, exist and be there, but I don't want to be. That's just who I am. It's who your dog is. They don't like it. But
you have to give them a chance and give them the teaching. And then when they're, like, I feel so bad. Like, Ruben, he does really well at Lowe's. I brought him to pick up my car. I brought my car to Mobile in Woburn, and the guy there is like amazing. I love him, but it's like 5 minutes. We'll be done in 5 minutes. So I took Ruben on like a 25-minute walk. I go back, and it's like my car's still not done. It was
5 more minutes.
Like, whatever. Yeah, exactly. He's like, he's inside the shop. He's sitting on the chair, and he's just sitting there, and he's sitting, but his whole body is shaking, and his ears are down, and everybody that was in there was like, oh, he's like, you need a jacket for your dog. He's so cold. I'm like, no, he's just freaking out. So I took him on another like 5-10 minute walk, and he likes to move, but he just he's obedient. If I say sit, he'll sit. If I say down, he'll down. If I toss a treat on the floor, he'll pick it up. But he's just not happy. So
he's existing.
Exactly.
He's existing.
Yeah, but he's not.
Well, that's Colton at the vet. Believe it or not, Colton only at the vet. Margarita. Champion,
which is surprising because
is very surprising.
Gone to the same place.
Very surprising.
Yeah.
And Colton has gone to the same vet for almost 7 years.
Yeah,
we've
always gone to Heckerling.
Good Lord, he has a heart attack. I don't know why. I'm like,
just getting older.
Seamus hated the vet. He was good for every procedure.
Yeah, but Margarita's
he
like
would just shake.
Miss Margarita, who is like, please don't touch me. Leave me alone. At the vet, she's like, hello everybody. Hi. Hey.
Yeah, they have a lot of female techs though. And she likes females, I feel like. More.
She likes the females.
No, she actually, she does tend to prefer males over females recently. Just like.
Can't say the same.
People.
Oh, Lord.
No, she does. People like who she meets. Like if she expresses interest in someone. I think it's because Margarita doesn't really like a cartoon voice. Oh my God, she's. And men usually are like, oh, what a cute dog. She's, females are a little more high pitched, a little more animated.
I can't with the cartoon voice.
And Margarita does not like it. So she does better with people who are just kind of like, hey, what's up? Hi. Oh my God, your dog is what is she?
Hey.
She's a what? Is that a real breed?
Oh my God.
I love you.
I love you so much. Yep.
Bye.
Dogs make us act real weird. Real weird. Make people act really weird. I was talking to Val, who's been on the podcast, on Instagram the other day, and she was talking about interacting with people when she's getting dogs in and out of the car, and how like people like walk up to her car when she has dogs. I think that's what we were talking about. But it's just, to me, it's weird because if there were no dogs involved and you were just getting out of your car and someone walked up to you,
weird.
You'd be like, do I have to shank this person? Like, what are they doing? Like, if they came...
That's where we are in this day and age, where somebody creeps up on you and you're like, I have to kill them before they kill shanks?
Me. But, I always carry a knife on me. Always. Because I'm always in the woods.
So many things happening in the
really
woods.
Good point.
Always.
That's a good point.
I mean, I'm stupid not to. It's like... But, if you just open your back door and somebody, like, walks up right to your face, like...
Oh, that'd be... No.
What would you do? But if there's dogs involved, people do that.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? So I feel like dogs just make people act so differently than they
boundaries.
would.
Boundaries go right out the window.
Exactly.
Right out the window.
Anyway. All right. Well, we'll wrappy pappy. This has been a great episode. We're going to talk to Melissa in a couple weeks, get some more details about what she's doing over at Crate Escape, which is pretty exciting. And we've Laurie and I have been brainstorming a little bit today about the podcast, maybe different types of guests that we could have on the podcast, and we will, whatever happens. But again, I'm super excited. Episode number 50. I've kept it going for a couple of years here. This is, it started 2019, so we're in year number 3, FitPet Boston Talks. I wish I could do more episodes, but I just don't have the time. And it's just, I'm super busy with work, and I absolutely love doing these. Love sitting with Melissa. She's definitely part of our tribe of people that we're close to, and Laurie and I aren't close to very many people.
All my people.
So yeah, we're all together, and we love chit chatting. I love talking to people that I've never met before, which is a weird thing to love to do.
She does,
but I enjoy it. So if you're interested in being on the podcast, or you know somebody that you think would be a good fit for the podcast, hit me up. I'm all ears. I do like to keep it to experienced dog handlers only. So people that have been doing this job, whatever discipline you're in, for 3-4 years, just get a good base underneath you to come and talk on the podcast. But Laurie and I were talking today about some different types of guests we could have on, which is kind of piqued my interest. If that actually happens, I will be sure to announce it. Otherwise, please share, rate, and review the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. And we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.